Goodnight, Desdemona, Good Morning, Juliet is a mixture of two great Shakespearean tragedies and modern-day idealisms all combined into one three-act playwright. The play follows the journey of Constance Leadbelly, a PhD student at Queen's University in Kingston. Among working, writing, and supporting her boss and romantic love interest, Claude Knight, Constance is seeking the answer to one of the biggest unanswered questions in literature. Who was the real author of Shakespeare's plays? Suddenly, Constance is warped into the worlds of Othello and Romeo and Juliet, where she meets characters like Juliet and Desdemona, who help her discover the essence of love, feminism, destiny, and her own identity. Anne-Marie MacDonald's award-winning fanfiction has gained recognition all around the world for its in-depth, comedic, and modern interpretation of Shakespeare. To further understand the play, we must analyze the use of characters, themes, and symbols. Desdemona is one of Shakespeare's strongest and most capable female characters. She loves two things, Othello and war. Her devotion to her husband and passion for conquest is admirable and inspires Constance to develop her own strength and confidence in feminist beliefs. However, Desdemona's gullibility and ease of manipulation lead her to impulsive tendencies towards tragedy. She always expects the worst, even when the situation may not be that bad. Juliet is a young symbol of love. Although she shows plentiful signs of immaturity, Juliet knows what she wants and is determined to get it. She is obsessed with death, and her overdramatic desire to seek it adds to the comic effect of the play. Constance arguably begins the play as somewhat clumsy and absent-minded. Like Desdemona and Juliet, she has an impulse towards tragedy. After being rejected by Claude, Constance sees her whole world fall apart, implying that since she doesn't have a man to support her, she will self-destruct. Although Constance lacks feminist views and independence, her adaptiveness and faith quickly allow her to learn how to rise in a male-dominated world. She understands the constant oppression of women both in Kingston and the Shakespearean universe, which helps her build up an amount of confidence to become a role model. Her true identity, therefore, still shows some signs of clumsiness, as she is the fool after all, but she returns to the real world with a full knowledge of herself, completing her quest. The pen is the first symbol and the last symbol we encounter in the play. The pen is the only thing that Constance takes with her to the other world, which ensures her return back. An important detail is that the pen leaves Kingston with a green color, but returns as a gold pen. In the prologue, the chorus mentions alchemy, which is the process of which turning base metals into gold, just as the pen did. Like the pen, Constance leaves Kingston and comes back as a better version of herself, symbolizing that she too does go through a process of alchemy. The green color symbolizes Constance's fresh start and new beginning at life. The play mentions that her thesis is written in green ink, a possible indication that it is a completely new idea and that no one has ever thought about it before. The Gustav manuscript is a recurring symbol we see in the play as well, as Constance seeks her answer not just in Kingston but in the Shakespearean universe. The reason for why Constance is so determined to find it is because the proof to her thesis lies within the Gustav Code. After all, the only time we see Constance truly flourish in character and confidence is with her writing. Constance not only wants proof, but cracking the code will give her credit she deserves and craves. Like Darwin, she hopes that cracking this code will allow people to appreciate Shakespearean work more. Constance, Desdemona, and Juliet each experience love and view it differently from one another. Constance loves Claude, however, this love manipulates her into doing anything for him. But when he unintentionally rejects her, Constance sees her life completely destroyed. For someone who's spent a lifetime studying storybook romances, it's a tragedy to have her own love torn apart in seconds. Desdemona loves Othello and would also do anything for him, but lacks faith in him. She easily believed that Othello was cheating on her, just as he did the same, possibly showing a lack in strength in their love. Juliet is more in love with the idea of forbidden love rather than love itself. Her first love is Romeo, who was from the enemy family, then Constance, who was of the opposite sex. Some might say that she is noble in pursuing death for the cause of love, but her constant infatuation with everyone around her deems Juliet as immature and impulsive. MacDonald herself was a strong feminist, so it would come at no surprise to see the theme of feminism play a consistent role in the play. Both in modern-day Kingston and the Elizabethan era, MacDonald emphasizes the constant oppression and maltreatment and misunderstanding of women. Examples include Constance's abusive relationship with Claude, Tybalt's distrust in women, and Romeo's object-alike mindset about women. However, as each of the female characters experience the onset of oppression, they also go through a learning process that teaches them about the role of gender in a society. Both Romeo and Juliet dress up as the opposite gender, bringing attention to the flexibility of gender and the importance of breaking down gender norms. Most importantly, Constance learns that changing and testing of genders, her confidence as a scholar, and drive to live independently are all aspects of becoming a strong and natural woman. All three storylines surround the theme of destiny, as each are altered by the arrival of Constance. Othello never kills Desdemona because Constance calls out Iago, and Romeo and Juliet never go through with their marriage because both fall in love with Constance. Desdemona, Juliet, and Constance alike are all hoping for the best, but are unprepared when something comes in the way of their path. Constance is blinded by her tragedy of love into only seeing the worst-case scenario of what's to come. Desdemona will fight off any obstacle that comes in her way to Othello because she believes it is her destiny to be with him. Juliet sees that she must die for love, and that the only thing she knows for sure is her destiny is to die in the name of love. Through introducing Constance in both plotlines, MacDonald is emphasizing the fact that we are the only ones who are in charge of our destiny. There is no code for life or a rewritten manuscript, rather a play that writes itself as we make decisions in our lives. We are our own authors to our own story, and we determine where we go, what we do, who we meet, and where we end up. We write our own plays. We create our own destiny.